right, Matrixx and Rhodes Show supporters. Well, it's videos just like this that makes you go, how in the world do these people actually have a television show where people sit around and talk about crucial events in this country? But nonetheless, the cackling, radically progressive leftist hens over at The View, they are at it again. And I've got to just keep it real here. What is it with black women hating Donald Trump so much? I don't get that. Have you noticed? Because Trump's brought on board a lot of black supporters, but mostly just black men, not so much black women, and I don't understand. Is there a general hatred for anybody that's a ginger? Question mark, as I look at my red-headed beard in the video that hadn't turned gray yet. I'm just wondering. So these imbeciles over at The View hate Donald Trump so much that they believe that him, for some reason, unlike the rest of United States citizens, don't deserve due process? Question mark? Really? In a court? Just don't deserve it. Shouldn't even get the opportunity to get due process. And of course, they're talking about the Supreme Court looking at the immunity issue. Well, the fact is, yes, Donald Trump, regardless of how much they don't want him to get due process in this country, he's going to get it. All right? He's going to get it. And I think Whoopi Goldberg, in particular, makes some dangerous assumptions about the Supreme Court in this video, right? That the Supreme Court has some kind of an agenda. I know that Biden has talked about ways to try to work around Supreme Court decisions, and I'm like, well, it looks to me like that ought to be kind of the law of the land. You call me nuts, call me crazy, but maybe it should be. Now, many things, of course, should fall back to the state level, but when you're talking about things like elections, et cetera, you're talking about things going down at a federal level, too. So, nonetheless, this is about the immunity thing. Now, in fairness, Sonny Hostin, Blind Squirrel Finds Nut, actually comes out and says, yeah, he deserves due process, and this is why it's being looked at, yada, yada, yada. Scary enough thought, she's a former lawyer. But I got to tell you, after seeing so much out of that Fani Willis case, I'm not impressed by a lot of these lawyers at all. At all. That one witness they brought up there, that dude couldn't recollect anything. It seems like that he was asked whatsoever in that case. So let's get to this. Due process is a bad look, guys. Daily Wire, The View host Whoopi Goldberg complained on Thursday that it was a, quote, bad look for the Supreme Court to provide due process for former President Donald Trump, arguing in part that the high court should simply sit back and let the lower court's decisions stand, so he shouldn't have the right to appeal it to the highest level. Why is that exactly? Question mark? Crickets chirping? Anybody? Goldberg made the comments during Thursday's broadcast of ABC midday talk show, claiming the Supreme Court was somehow, quote, showing favoritism by taking up the case and expediting it in accordance with special counsel Jack Smith's request. Co-host Sonny Hostin, a former federal prosecutor, that's scary as hell, set up the conversation by pointing out the fact that the court was following the proper procedure. Quote, he gets due process of law just like all of us. Hostin went on to say that if the court ruled that he did not have immunity, Trump would not be able to appeal a potential conviction by claiming that he did not get due process. I think that maybe is why they're taking a look at it. Well, there is some video here, so we'll just play it. All right.
He gets due process of law just like all of us. And so if the Supreme Court takes it, they decide he does not have presidential immunity. Now he gets convicted. He then can't on appeal say, you got to let me out of jail because I didn't get due process. So that's how I'm trying to look at this in a very positive way.
In the first place.
And I think that's right. Right. I think that's maybe why they took it.
I think it's a bad look for them. Yeah. It's a very to have taken this. Yeah. Because this, in some of their other rulings, which I wondered about. You know, people say, well, you know, we don't want it to look like we're showing favoritism, so we're looking at this in a very deep way. And suddenly now, it doesn't feel like they're looking at it in a deep way. This feels like, oh, we got to help him do this. And that's what I don't like about it, because there's no reason for them to actually take this case, because the two lower courts said, listen, this is what it is. And so if they were to turn against what the two lower courts thought, I think this is very bad for them.
It
looks bad.
It wasn't shocking to me that they took it, because they took so long to grant.
See, it feels like they just did this the other day.
It took some time.
I have to say, I find it very depressing. I find it depressing.
Don't be depressed.
No,
Can I say one thing?
I find it depressing because I feel like not only are we alone in the universe, we're now alone in the country. We're supposed to rely on the Supreme Court to be up above reproach, and they're not.
But they never. But wait a minute. They never have been. No, listen.
The Chief Justice knows that.
Yeah.
He cares about that sentiment.
And remember,
I agree with Alyssa, this is not going to. And you, Whoopi, this is not. They're not going to get.
There's so much corruption in government right now. I feel like I'm in the wrong country.
Listen, we have.
And we're perfectly fine if you decide to leave this country, Joey Behar. We really are. It's almost laughable that you have these progressives here talking about favoritism when it seems like the law has become very political and politicized. I mean, let's be honest. They're targeting Trump. I mean, actual politics in law is targeting Trump right now because they don't want him to be able to run and win the presidential election again. And I find that laughable that they think that the left is being targeted or some. I mean, that's hilarious. That's truly hilarious. Everybody is throwing darts at Trump right now, and heaven forbid he gets due process. And the fact that he's going to is such an issue, and it's offensive. That's ignorant. That's ignorant to come out and say on television because you have people watching this. And these people are, believe it or not, influencing folks, I guess. I hope not. I still don't understand how this show's on the air continuously and continually. But nonetheless, it's baffling to me that they hate this guy so much they don't think he deserves due process when all these cases are blatantly, they all have one end goal. Let's figure out if we have a way to cut Trump's knees off so he can't run for re-election. That's all it's got to do with. All of them. All of them. They're scared of Trump, and they're scared of this Supreme Court taking a look at this because if they rule in his favor, that pretty much makes all these cases go away. Sorry. It makes the majority of these cases, if not all of them, disappear. It does. And they know it. And it's amazing to me. I feel like we're alone in the universe. Really? Because the mainstream media, everybody is anti-Trump except Trump supporters and very few cases, citizen journalism, etc. They've got everybody on their side that is lefties, and that the media and continuous propaganda, pushing propaganda. At one time, they literally had Twitter doing it, along with the government working with them. Facebook. It's crazy. I feel like we're alone. These people are nuts. They really are. Whoopi Goldberg, yeah, that's showing her ignorance right there. And then going on television and just throwing up her ignorance all over that desk. It's crazy. It's crazy. I don't get it. I really don't understand. I've never understood the offense that people take from Trump's words. I've never understood that. All right, because let's say, for example, my father didn't love a lot of the things that Trump said out of his mouth about people. He didn't love it. But he really loved Trump's policies. Well, you know what? I don't care that much about your personality, so to speak. As long as your policies are strong and they're sound and they're just. That's all I care about. And you're actually willing to put America first. That's what I'm looking at. I don't care that he hurt somebody's feelings or talked bad about him on X or some celebrity. Boo-hoo. I don't care. That doesn't bother me. Or that he didn't use a pronoun. Okay, whatever. I mean, I just don't have time for that shit. I mean, screw the pronouns. I don't care. I don't get it. You know? God, it's crazy. Tell me what you think, Matrixx and Rhodes Show supporters. I didn't put a video out yesterday because I had my mouth worked on. So, yeah, there's that. Peace. I'm out. Till next time.